CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Good evening. A public hearing at City Hall over a special tax program downtown went all day and still needs more time. Most councillors and business leaders say this levy is vital for the core to flourish. The sticking point is a directive from the province to spend millions of public dollars to build projects on land owned by the Oilers. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
I do support downtown revitalization, but I will not support a bad deal.
Councillor and mayoral candidate Andrew Knack wants to pump the brakes on a $250 million event park beside Rogers Place. The city's share is $70 million. It's listed as one of the catalyst projects in a special tax program called the Downtown Revitalization Levy.
We don't even know if we need an event park yet. There's just this assumption that something new and shiny will solve everything.
The levy was introduced in 2015 as part of the arena deal to build Rogers Place. City staff have crunched the numbers and say extending the 20-year program by an extra decade is worthwhile.
It is a comprehensive approach to redeveloping downtown Edmonton, encompassing underground utilities, beautifications of our streets and parks, creation and expansion of event spaces, improvement to transit stations, and incentives for attainable housing.
The Alberta president of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation drove up from Lethbridge to have her voice heard, just one of many speakers upset with the deal.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and revitalize the downtown. We're worried about going downtown, but why are you tying it to one element of corporate welfare? That is not fair, and it's not right.
The province has final say over the CRL. Minister Dan Williams says it won't be approved unless it includes the event park and site servicing for the housing planned north of the arena. The province would pitch in more than $100 million for those projects.
The province should not be putting strings and holding taxpayers over the barrel and saying, you can only have this money if you give it to Daryl Cates.
We don't even know the other options because this was decided behind closed doors in a private negotiation between one business and our premier, with the City of Edmonton along for the ride.
They're major funders of this, major enablers of this plan, so they're definitely going to have a say in this.
Mayor Amarjeet Sohi understands why Edmontonians are upset, but he says the deal would fall apart without the event park, which would be a major missed opportunity for downtown.
Anyone who believes that we can find $175 million of a new revenue or $103 million of grant funding, I think not living in the reality.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A representative from OEG spoke to council earlier this evening. They declined an interview with CTV News before they had a chance to speak to council and referred us to a previous statement on the event park. It says in part, the park and housing north of Rogers Place will benefit downtown and the city as a whole. The hearing will continue tomorrow morning. An 18-year-old woman is dead after a crash east of Fort Saskatchewan this morning. RCMP responded to a collision between an SUV and a pickup truck hauling a trailer just before 7:30. Police say the driver of the SUV was found dead at the scene. The truck driver was taken to hospital. Police have not released any details about what caused the crash. A person is in hospital after being hit by a train this morning. Police say the crash between the pedestrian and the train closed 51st Avenue between 99th Street and Gateway Boulevard for several hours. Alberta Health Services says the person was taken to hospital in critical condition just before 6 a.m. Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway is investigating. A man is facing a second-degree murder charge in the death of a woman in the Chappelle neighborhood. Police say Monday morning officers found an injured woman at a home near Charles Bay and Charles Way. Despite receiving medical care, police say she died of her injuries. An autopsy determined 45-year-old Ramona Bowen's death was a homicide. A 41-year-old woman has been charged with a second-degree murder. Police say the accused and the victim knew each other. And investigators have cleared an Edmonton police officer in a deadly shooting nearly 2 years ago. In December 2023, officers were called to a wellness check on a woman in southeast Edmonton. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team says officers found her at home in bed. She told officers she had a gun under the blanket. Officers lifted the blanket and saw a gun. The report says she reached for it, and that's when an officer fired while the second deployed a taser. Officers tried to save the woman, but she died. Her weapon turned out to be a BB gun. ASER investigators say the actions of the officer was justified given the circumstances. The mother of a child allegedly assaulted by a daycare worker in Sherwood Park says she was shocked by what happened and dismayed by the daycare's response. Police say a total of 5 children between the ages of 5 and 8 were allegedly assaulted over a 3-week period. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has the story.
It's gutting, you know.
Mother of 2, Kristen Savoy, has a new outlook on childcare after she says her son came home one day with an alarming story.
He didn't say why. He just came home and told me that my teacher grabbed my throat today. And when I said, "Can you show me?" He gave me the motion of someone choking him and said that he couldn't breathe.
This was back in April, says Savoy, and the worker involved had only been there a few weeks. Afterwards, she decided to contact parents of other kids at the center.
And all of these children came back and told their parents the exact same thing, that they were being slapped in the face, in the head, and in the back.
The families brought the issue to police. RCMP began investigating with the help of the Zebra Center. Police identified 5 victims and earlier this week announced 5 assault charges had been laid against 21-year-old Navam Sharma.
We haven't heard anything from her other than the fact that they're saying that there's no proof.
Savoy's son is now at a day home, but she has lingering concerns about the daycare. She says a day after she notified management about her son's assault, she saw Sharma working there.
In that moment, I refused to leave the daycare until she was removed.
RCMP say Sharma was put on administrative leave a week into its investigation, and she stayed on leave until her arrest. It could not say whether she was ultimately let go.
So sorry, I can't open the door.
Okay, is there a manager that I might be able to speak to over the intercom?
No, sorry.
Is there a phone number you can give me?
Sorry.
CTV News briefly spoke to someone at the daycare who wouldn't identify themselves.
Like, it's unconfirmed. It's not confirmed yet.
The charges have been laid, so the charges have been confirmed.
Actually, sorry, we have nothing to say.
The daycare did not respond to a follow-up email asking whether Sharma had been fired and how it ensured kids' safety following the initial complaint. Lavoie coming away from this with some advice to parents.
Even if you think everything is okay and you think you trust the people watching your child, just ask the questions.
None of the allegations have been tested in court. Sharma is scheduled to appear there next month. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
RCMP say none of the children had serious injuries or required medical attention. The Energy City Cactus Rats Baseball Club says it's still determining if its ballpark could open this year. This is what the Energy City Metro Ballpark looks like right now. Construction started back in 2023 and has faced a series of setbacks. The baseball club had promised it would be playing there 2 days ago. Instead, this year's home opener will be played at Henry Singer Ballpark in Spruce Grove on July 5th. So far this season, the team has played all its home games at opposing teams' stadiums. The club says an evaluation of the ballpark will be completed in the coming days, and an update is expected next week. A new mobile hydrogen fueling station to support the City of Edmonton's hydrogen vehicles is now operational. The city says the fueling station produces hydrogen to service its light, medium, and heavy-duty fleet vehicles. The city is calling in the first of its kind in Alberta and a step towards its goal of establishing hydrogen as a practical fuel option. The province spent nearly $7 million on the pilot project as part of the Alberta Zero Emissions Fleet Fueling Initiative.
It's a chance to test what's possible and to collect Alberta-specific data and insights that will help future projects like this advance.
The fueling station is at the City of Edmonton's Fleet Services facility in Ellerslie. The city says it plans to open a second station in 2026. Alberta's leftover children's pain medication from Turkey is going to an international charity. Alberta Health Services says an agreement has been reached with Health Partners International of Canada. The charity distributes medicine to vulnerable communities worldwide. In 2022, the province spent $70 million on the medication during a Canada-wide shortage. The province has been storing more than 1 million bottles of the medication since officials determined it posed health risks to infants. AHS says preliminary shipments have begun and additional shipments will happen in the coming months. Chiefs with Treaty 8 First Nations are telling Alberta's Premier not to push them aside in the name of progress. The Chiefs met with Danielle Smith today. They say treaties are constitutionally protected and are between the bands and the federal government, not the province. They want the right to health and education enforced, better emergency management, and control over resources in their territory. The Chiefs want a resource revenue sharing agreement on resource projects. They are seeking a follow-up meeting with the Premier and provincial officials.
Things are moving without us. We need to make sure that the province understands their legal obligations to our treaties, to our people, and that no movement will be made without us. There has to be some sort of a relationship developed between Alberta and the nation so we can move forward with some of these projects in a good way for our people.
The Chiefs are seeking a follow-up meeting with Premier Smith and provincial officials. Local organization HIV Edmonton is being recognized for its contributions to the HIV/AIDS movement in Canada. 12 Edmontonians living with HIV were recognized today with the King Charles Coronation Medal. The medal honors Canadians who do impactful work in advocacy and charity work. HIV Edmonton hopes the recognition will serve as a way to lessen the stigma around those living with HIV and AIDS.
Making sure people who have HIV have equal access to employment.
People need to know that living with HIV is not a death sentence anymore. We have an organization, there's lots of support here. You can get tested and go on with your life and be powerful contributors to our city and our country.
Each recipient has contributed to the HIV/AIDS movement through education and by sharing their stories, putting a name and face to HIV and AIDS. Coming up next, a herd of goats weeding out a big problem in Red Deer. And also just ahead, looking back at Connor McDavid's decade in Edmonton.
Now that it's finally happened and I'm an Edmonton Oiler, I couldn't be more proud.
Good evening, folks. Beautiful for a good chunk of the day today. We get to 25 degrees, lots of sunshine through the first half of the day, and then late afternoon, early evening, some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the area, and we'll see a similar pattern tomorrow. Things do change for the weekend, though. We'll talk more about that in a couple minutes.
It's been 10 years since Connor McDavid was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers. In the decade since, he's taken the Oilers and their fans on quite the journey. This edition of Once Upon a Time in Edmonton looks back at some of the biggest McDavid moments. Here's CTV's Matt Woodman.
The first overall pick in the 2015 NHL draft belongs to the Edmonton Oilers.
Excitement erupted in Edmonton before his name was even called.
Their first pick from the Erie Oilers.
From Erie to Edmonton, Connor McDavid was now an Oiler.
It was just so exciting to hear your name called and go through all that, and yeah, it was unbelievable. Now that it's finally happened and I'm an Edmonton Oiler, I couldn't be more proud.
Like his signature stride, McDavid Mania was kicking into high gear. The fans couldn't wait to greet him during his first practice at Rexall.
No, never like that. It was pretty funny just skating around, shooting him in the open net, and they were celebrating, so it's funny.
Seats at training camp became so scarce, the team held a lottery to select which fans could come watch.
Who's your favorite team?
Connor McDavid.
I'm impressed so far. So
you already bought his jersey.
I bought it the day after he was drafted.
Turn it over. A blast by Sekera, score! And this game is tied. It's 2-2, and that's a tip-in and the first NHL goal for Connor McDavid.
3 games into his first NHL season, McDavid scored his first NHL goal. Not the sweetest, but still significant.
That's pretty special, obviously. I mean, it's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So I was excited, but a lot of it was relief. It's just the pressure that there is these days. So it felt good.
13 games into his rookie season, McDavid suffered an injury that kept him out of the lineup for nearly half the year. He made his comeback in spectacular fashion.
McDavid trying to split the defense. McDavid, what a play, what a goal! Oh my, Connor McDavid, welcome back!
With moves like that, McDavid had proven he could slip away from the toughest defenders.
That picture was a little bit weird.
Adoring fans, though, presented a new challenge.
I don't know how you're supposed to feel comfortable when they're holding you like that. So I was pretty much in a death grip. So I was trying to get on the plane as fast as I could.
In 2017, this couple bumped into McDavid at the airport and couldn't resist getting a picture with their favorite player.
Looking back at it now, it feels like a mom being so proud of a son, because I do that with people that I really care about or I admire.
Showing just how much McDavid means to Oilers fans and the city.
We'll have more McDavid moments tomorrow. And if you'd like to watch some extended videos from 10 years ago when McDavid was drafted, head to ctvnewsedmonton.ca. And the city of Red Deer will once again rely on the help of goats to combat weeds. The goats eat invasive species like Canada thistle, toadflax, and leafy spurge while keeping native vegetation intact. And they also help the city avoid the use of chemicals, which helps the environment and saves money.
So it's not all dollars and cents, it's ecosystem health. It's restoring these habitats in a way that allows them to thrive naturally.
Each shift for the goats is 24 hours with plenty of breaks. The company Bad Management brings 500 to 800 goats per shift. 8 or 9 dogs help with the herding and protection. And the city of Red Deer will be hosting a Goats Day in the fall for people to meet the goats and learn more about what they do. The government is inviting Albertans to visit the legislature this Canada Day for its annual celebration. There are 4 performance areas. Each has a number of different musicians and performers. And the main stage will also feature a performance by the McDades from 4 to 5 o'clock. There are crafts and other activities for kids, and visitors can also tour the legislature and the library. Apparently, that's where you'll find a 56-year-old hamburger. Canada Day celebrations at the Ledge go from noon until 5. After the break, an extra odd bird hatches in BC.
It was absolutely perfect. It's just the cutest little thing in the world.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. A couple degrees above average today, 25 degrees for the daytime high. This is actually the warmest day since June 9th. So warmest day in Edmonton in about 2.5 weeks. Although we were 24 last Monday, Tuesday, so we were close, just not quite as warm as today. Sunshine to start the day tomorrow in through the Edmonton area, but just like we saw today, we'll see some cloud cover increase through the afternoon and some hit and miss showers and thunderstorms across much of central and north central Alberta. Where exactly those storms pop up remains to be seen, but there will be some activity, at least in the Edmonton area, late in the day tomorrow. This gets a little more organized overnight Friday night into early Saturday morning. And so I think as opposed to just hit and miss showers, there's a decent chance that through the morning hours Saturday, we've got some periods of rain in the Edmonton area. Through the afternoon, thunderstorms across the south, a few scattered thunderstorms in the north, but here in Edmonton should be just cloudy with a few sunny breaks in the afternoon. I think midday Saturday, that rain tapers off, and then it's just cloudy and cool and breezy through the afternoon hours. 12 degrees in Fort McMurray, 10 in Red Deer, 9 for Grand Prairie tomorrow morning. We'll start the day at about 12 or 13 degrees. You'll be in the low 20s across the northwest, mid-20s in through the northeast. Sunshine in Fort McMurray, chances of some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon across northern and southern sections of the province. 21 for Red Deer and Coronation, about 23 in Lloydminster, and we'll be in the 23 or 24 degree range as well. Sunny in the morning, clouds in the afternoon, and then around supper time and into the evening, a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Rain to start the day Saturday, 20 for a high in the afternoon with some sunny breaks late in the day. A little gusty as well, gusts in the 30 to 40 kilometer per hour range. Sunday, Monday, sunshine comes out, sticks around all day, and daytime high should be in the mid-20s. Canada Day, sunny with some late day cloud, chance of an evening thunderstorm, high of 27 or 28 on Canada Day, and then mid-20s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. That is your forecast.
The discovery of an unusual egg on a BC playground has inspired kindness in a series of people. As CTV's Adam Sawatsky found out, the egg sparked compassion, connection, and a community that came together.
It was just down this path right here.
We're one of Julie Sitnin's daycare kids, found inside this little house, alongside a pair of dolls, a single unhatched egg.
So one of my kids is actually anaphylactic to eggs, so I freaked out a little bit.
Well, it felt unusually heavy for a chicken egg. It was not unusual for Coral Clay to offer help.
Created a little nest for it.
Coral also grabbed a heater to keep it warm, added a stuffy to keep it company, and called a few animal rescue organizations that might keep it safe. But they couldn't help.
We were left with just leaving nature to do its thing, which made us all very sad.
Until Julia texted her friend, who works at this cafe on a farm, and Isaiah Cardelicia agreed to care for the egg overnight before taking it to work the next day.
Pretty bizarre, but I knew Tara would be interested in it.
Tara McMullen, who's Isaiah's boss, who suspected the egg had been abandoned because something was wrong with it.
Told everybody, don't hold your breath for this. This is not gonna happen.
Still, Tara placed it in her incubator and looked after it for weeks before out popped a baby peacock.
It was absolutely perfect. It's just the cutest little thing in the world.
They named him Chickpea, and Tara spent the next few days caring for him round the clock.
Doesn't matter if it's a baby peacock, a baby kitten, a baby dog, or a baby baby. They're all a lot of work.
Which is why Tara is so grateful a local veterinarian who owns a chicken has agreed to adopt Chickpea so the hen can raise the peacock as one of her own.
I absolutely know he will have the best life ever. That's so cute.
While they say it takes a village to raise a child well, when it comes to an abandoned peacock egg, it takes a collective of kind people to raise a chickpea well.
It doesn't matter what it is. Be kind. Spread the love. Everybody wins.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, North Saanich.
A hockey player from Spirit River is heading to New York after being taken in the 4th round of the PWHL draft.
The New York Sirens select Dale Ross, defender from St. Cloud State University.
Dale Ross was the first pick in round 4. The 22-year-old grew up in northeastern Alberta, but finished her minor hockey with the St. Albert Slash, winning 2 national championships. Her coach with those teams isn't surprised to see her success, chalking it up to her off-ice tangibles.
Are you a person that, pushes people away, or you draw people near to, and she draws people near to just because of her character and just how she holds herself?
Anything I can that's within my control I can do. It's going to be fun to play hockey. I'm just excited to play with them.
Ross was one of 17 Canadians and 2 Albertans taken in the draft. And billboards have gone up in the 6 Canadian cities with NHL teams, thanking fans for supporting the Edmonton Oilers during the playoffs. Explore Edmonton is behind the nationwide campaign. It put up billboards in Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. They thank the city for cheering on the Oilers and cheekily saying they won't tell their hockey teams. And it also shares Edmonton was in the top 10 on Lonely Planet's best in travel list. The organization says it's seen an extra 20,000 website visits since the billboards went up Monday.
We just want the rest of Canada to know that we're an amazing place to travel to this summer particularly. We know travel trends are showing more Canadians traveling domestically, so we wanted to take advantage of this and really have them plan their itineraries, come to our site, and get excited about planning their trip to Edmonton.
Each city has between 5 to 10 billboards. Explore Edmonton also put up billboards in Florida during the playoffs. And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.